number, but for your analysis purpose, you want to put people into certain age groups, and so you can target your marketing on certain age groups. So by having age groups, you can target your audience. For example, just to give you an example, 10 to 19-year age group. So if you, let's say, if you're selling game CDs, right? So gaming CDs, or it could be your Microsoft Xbox, or PSP, or any products. So if your target audience is in the 10 to 19-year-old age groups, you will direct your campaign activities to, let's say, certain places in geography where that this age group is most likely to visit. Let's say if you are selling game CDs for the 10 to 19-year-old age group, you will probably be looking at play schools, or certain areas in community, like play areas in parks, right? For example, that is one, play areas in parks where kids really visit to play. Or you might be having some campaigns in amusement parks. Let's say you go to an amusement park, and outside the amusement park you have these guys who are selling CDs or marketing their products for kids. So that's how you can target your audience, by by categorizing your age groups. So one approach is to group together responses with similar themes. For example, I didn't feel sick enough to see a doctor. My symptoms stopped. Illness didn't last very long. So these could all be grouped together to illness was not severe, right? So that's another way of doing it. So that is coding. So once you have coded, you will be looking at cleaning your data, because the way I showed you the data in this Excel sheet, it is not necessary that all your data that you receive or you'll be looking at will be in such clean format. Sometimes product names could be missing. Sometimes these dollar values that you see here, some of them you might see a dollar, some of them it might be in a different currency. For example, if you're a global organization and if you've got your sales data from different regions, then if you're focused on Americas and Europe and Middle East and Southeast Asia, so in India you might be getting the same information in terms of rupees, and in Europe you might be based on the different countries in Europe. UK, since it is not part of European Union now, so you might be seeing pounds. Other parts of Europe you might be seeing euro. So you have to convert all that currency into one standard format. So let's say if dollar is the standard that you want to use, so then you will use your currency conversion for that day, for that hour, and use the currency conversion methods to convert everything into a dollar. So you have to do some calculations for that. So those are some of the challenges that you will see in real life scenarios. So there could be some missing data, like I told. So if there is missing data, you might have to look at some other sources to fill up for the missing data. So you can set some limits. You can also set some, these are called as governance rules. So basically you need to govern your data. You need to set some rules. So people who are using this data, they can follow those standards. So you want to set some age limits for size limits for the numerical data for age. So let's say you don't want to have more than 3 digits captured for age, just so you make sure that there are certain standards followed in terms of data. So the data entry systems should not allow double entry. For example, Mark was talking about, he was working in cost accounting. So ensuring that double entry of let's say a voucher or any kind of invoice or anything should not be allowed. So if double entry is allowed, then you'll have